Alright, happy Sunday everybody, and welcome to some Minecraft Musings. Now I'll probably tack this into the two taboos just because I'm lazy and that's the current playlist that I'm doing, but I think I want to switch gears and do a little computer science today. So we're building this red tower thing over here. Um, actually, do I need to take anything back? I don't even know what I was doing in here, but I would like to accomplish, let's take that. Um, I don't like having that on the, oops. See, I've been playing Switch a lot, so the controls are backwards, like the back out and then the confirm are switched. So, literally switched. Haha. So, anyways, yeah, I don't really need any of that. But, um, yeah, so I want to get back into some educational stuff. We've been talking about politics and religion quite a bit, and we have the upcoming election, and it's just ridiculous. And I'll continue to explore those topics a bit, especially as we get closer, just because of just how important all that stuff is. Whether you believe or not, it affects you, and that's the same for both of them. I mean, politics more directly because that is the law. That's like being written in and enforced by people with clubs and guns and badges and like, and a lot of those people are my friends and family, but you just got to remember that they have these things and tasers too. Let's not forget about tasers and pepper spray. They will use those first, but no, you don't want to be hit with any of that, especially if you're having a bad day. That's an instant. That's part of why I love Breaking Bad. Like when, a little bit of spoilers, but this isn't really, crucial to the story. Walt does get arrested for a small other thing, completely unrelated, and it doesn't interfere with anything at all. It's just actually a funny story. He gets a pass because of his family connections himself. But I mean, at the price of he has to apologize to the officer for, freaking out. I won't go into details. We'll leave that for when you go and watch it yourself. And again, yeah, Netflix isn't paying me, but I've watched Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul at least like 20 times now. I'm not even exaggerating. Like that's my background noise that when I have on when I'm doing stuff, even when I'm coding, which I've been doing a little more of, but I'm about to switch gears mid-project. I think I might try to do Rust or even dust off some C++. So a little backup for those of you that are just joining us. I'm building a voting program, an application that, if it works like it's supposed to, what it is it's hopefully going to be a network of servers that display the results of a bunch of live action voting, kind of similar to the clicker system that has been used in universities, mine, including mine. That's how I'm familiar with it. Yeah, and so this first floor is just education, which is that. And then this way, oh wait, maybe it's this. Okay. So it's education going this way. It's cross thatched or whatever. So yeah, my education history and then all of the other stuff. So actually even just learning computer science, I want to slap on like, let's see, where would if I were some supplies. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's a good source of diorite when I get ready to do that. So we have signs, books. There we go. Yeah. And that way we can do the major programming language because an overarching theme of all programming languages is you learn computer science. So we're using this type. Mm, let's line it up. Python. That's it. Just focus on Python. Java. And then, oh, we need item frames. Yeah, I guess I could be doing that. Also, real quick, my son, so proud of him. He figured it out. So I did this on the same level, and the way he did it is he had it all underneath it, which is the way I saw it in videos. For some reason, I don't even know why I wanted to try to do it all on the same level. Because it is neater if it's tucked underneath all of it. But anyways, my son already made a redstone door just messing around in a creative world. Took him like 5, 10 minutes. He like watched a video, and then he like ran back out here, like did it. I mean, and then yeah, and he did a little bit of troubleshooting, and he tried not to watch the video like completely, kind of like me. Like, I try to do it. Let's see, item frames. We can at least do this and this. Mm-hmm. And then that. Item frames. So now we can even talk a little bit about each one. Like, so for the first one, well, this voting machine, which I actually have over here. So we'll just go back and look real quick. You can save the screenshot. Recreation, clear and transparent voting. So let's go ahead and pop that up there. Okay, there you go. I'm not going to read it. You can pause. And there you go. Okay. So, and basically the idea is multiple web servers that are in communication that are synchronized. That is very key, that they need to be updated, which is really not that hard to do, especially with Ajax. Oh, look at my character too. Oh, my son was playing around with a different. Yeah, it's cool. I don't know where he keeps getting all these skins. Like, I mean, I know I see all the charges and stuff, so like, and actually this is my account. I'm Al Gore. So the whole point is I'm, name is Al, Alex. Nobody calls me Al, but and I like gory video games with the occasional Minecraft. So Python. Oh, whoops. Nope, that is being used. So pop that one up there. Let's see if this one. Okay, and actually. All right, cool. We have two blank ones. Java, I don't really have much to say about it. Um, let's do Python first. So, one of the easiest. Wait, is easiest not a word? Now I'm all confused. One of the easier. One of the more easily learned. There you go. Gotta love English. We can do gymnastics and get around issues. One of the more easily learned languages, and that's what my most. I have a guide. Let's see. Wait. Let me finish this thought. However, one of the least efficient. The least efficient, and it kind of goes hands in hand with if it's not as efficient, then it's going to use more energy. One of the least efficient. In time and energy usage. So there's a lot of hand holding. But then you get into languages like C++, and that's more like my professor described it as a bucket of razor blades. It's very fast, very sleek, very efficient, but you can slice your hands if you don't know what you're doing. Like, I mean, let's see. Let's see, one of the least efficient and in time and energy usage. There you go. So we're talking about, we're constantly concerned about electricity, energy usage, all that. I mean, my house is no exception. I use a lot of energy, I'm sure. However, I know that a lot of the energy produced around here comes from solar panels. I mean, there's a lot of coal. We got Wyoming just north of us, which is like the coal capital, unofficial. But as far as the language goes, and this also causes lag and downtime. Now, For most things, this does not matter. If you have a few seconds to wait, then it's fine, especially for the older people that remember dial-up and remember seeing a picture render one line of pixels at a time. You know, it was like those old printers, like like printing out just a tiny bit and tiny bit. Well, I guess really like normal printers or home printers. I am spoiled. There's an office printer that we use at our office, and it's quick. It just like spits it out or does it all like before it. You know, even if it's still just doing the but just inside the box and then comes out, it still looks cleaner. But anyways, so Python, that's about it in a nutshell. Let's see. Uses not like synchronized, but uniform. There you go. Uses uniform spacing, and that means like one indent, two indents. I think one space, two space. I think it's usually like one indent or four spaces is about like I know that's what Sublime uses. Let's see, Sublime Text. It uses uniform spacing to keep pieces of code separate. Of would make sense of pieces of code, castle, communal, all the things I've been talking about. Code separate. So I'm talking like, function declarations, even objects. I haven't really done a lot with objects, separate. In Python, all the Python I've done is like scripting, basically, like looking at logs, keeping track of IP addresses, stuff like that. And that's like cybersecurity in a nutshell. You need to know who's trying to connect and where they're trying to connect from, what they're trying to do. Well, first, if they're legitimate or not. If they're legit, then fine. You don't need to know what they're doing. Now, you still need to keep track of what they're doing. You just don't need to be going through it with human eyes. You can let a machine do that. But anyways, that's getting into that. We'll leave that there. So now Java. Oh, whoops, actually, I need to. I just like to have the title on the books too. It looks cleaner. Google Docs is helping me do that. I'm doing a lot more Google Docs stuff to just kind of like record where I'm at. I mean, like one of my famous sayings is this quote. Let's see, Python. Is I saw as far as I could see because I stood on the shoulders of giants. And I don't even remember, I think it's Aristotle or someone that said it, but it doesn't matter because they said it, I'm thinking about it, and I'm applying it to my life, my world. And I don't care if you remember my name. I mean, it's A-Rye for a lot of this, even though it's Al Gore on here. Like, and then I'm like a happy cartoon pirate. Like, hey, I'm laughing at you as I like. He was doing a lot of like fighting in bed wars and stuff, so he was like killing people, smiling as a smiley pirate. But he doesn't troll. I mean, sometimes when he's... Oh, whoops. Wait. Oh, I sign. Okay. Now, Java. Organizes code. Let's see. Because this is what I first learned on was Java. Organizes code in class files. In class and Java files. So there's just .java and .class. In fact, I should probably put the dots. Uh, yeah, I'll just do that. Java files. Leave it on capitalized, lowercase. Kind of like how Linux is all files. It's like everything's a file. You know, your hard drive, it's a file. It's a pathway, it's a file. Like, or, comma, dot class and dot Java. Now, the class is all fine and good, but then you need to compile it into dot Javas and using some logic right there, anding or oring dot Java. And then the dot Java extension on a file means that it's executable by a Java engine. I believe. I don't know. And I use Eclipse, which is a integrated develop IDE, integrated development environment. In fact, let's even put that in there. Like I've only used, so my personal experience, I've only used an IDE Let's start with IDE because it's important that people are able to take apart that acronym, or no, dash. Let's do a dash. Ah, integrated Denmark. Yes, development environment. Now Python gets a little weird with that too. Like the environment. Actually, yeah. Now that I think about it, I was doing some stuff for work and I was making a couple Python projects, and yeah, that I did. Which, I mean, granted, now I'm using a different IDE, but before it was Eclipse with Java when I was just learning. Mm. And you're gonna have to get familiar with whatever development environment, if any, the company uses that you work for. So if you're planning to do this for a career, let's see. If you're planning to do it for fun, you really just need Eclipse for Java. So the one I use, there we go. The one I use, trying to like keep it short. The one I used was Eclipse. So there you go. So and in fact, in the videos that I'm going back and redoing at some point, was the one I used was is it no it is, yeah, because it still is. There you go. I used to use because I don't really do a lot of Java is Eclipse, but I suppose if I needed to again, there's Java, there's like NetBeans or JetBrains or JetBeans. There's Beans, Brains, and all sorts of different ones. There's Kate. There's I think Visual Basic and Visual Studio. Visual Basic is the language. Visual Studio is the Microsoft code editor. But then you get into like there's a free version and then there's the pay version. And then if you start to actually make something that you start selling, if you use something, you need to pay for it. Now me, ugh, I still need to go back and buy one copy of Sublime. It's 30 bucks. Maybe I can do that here soon. I'm trying to save up for a house. And I still have student loan debt. I mean, and I did use it for education, but jeez, that was a while ago now. Anyways, that's my, you know, that's my deal later. So, Java. Now, yeah, I put a frame in a frame. Okay, and C++. Now, C++ was actually my very first language, but I learned it in high school as part of an elective. Only one class briefly. I mean, I think I spent just as much time on Windows applications, Adobe Photoshop, and I want to say even Excel. Like I learned macros about as well, and I don't remember macros at all. And those are like little programs you could run in Microsoft Excel. But I remember about as much as that. Actually, I remember more C++. I mean, I remembered C out, C in. I don't think I have another book. There might be one in that. I mean, I think that one was religion. Yeah. And don't I have communal? I think this is religion. Religion. No, it's not. I mean, it is, but boop, done. And just to make sure, yep, and yep, and oh. Oh, we're doing different signs. Um, well, not for this one. Oops. Religion. There you go. Because it is important. It's it's painful to keep going through it, and and then there's a bunch of shame and guilt, and like, and how dare you, and this, and whoever created us, flying spaghetti monster, blah blah blah, would be mad at you for doing this because of this or whatever. It doesn't even matter what, because you did this, and automatically, boom. No, that's how a lot of people perceive it, and we're not gonna get into religion in this one. I'm pretty tired of talking about it because it is tiring. Like, I mean, it feels like something that everybody should know and understand. But yeah, so C++, let's see. Very efficient, but also, wait, very efficient in everything, including including screwing up. Using bad code, because it's still not the computer. Unless the machine's actually going faulty, it's not going to just like pick and choose a different bit to set or not set based on emotion or anything. Literally, it's not going to do an unpredictable operation unless it's failing. In fact, we call that faulty if it is. I mean, including screwing up using bad code, because it all depends on your code. And what I should do, I'm already thinking, let's see, did she respond? Well, hmm, sorry. We got scam people texting me. I mean, it could be, but like this one. Hey, long time no see. What are you up to? Do you? Oh, I shouldn't be reading these on recordings. People could be watching the thing. But seriously, I mean, report all suspicious stuff, and usually I do. If they don't include a name, and if that name doesn't check out, and if the number doesn't come from a place where I know that the person would be, and even then, there's different checks to like, sorry, I got a text message, it seems fishy, like with the PH, and even just fishing to see if like, oh, he got it at the time, since I leave timestamps on these things. Um, yeah, so, oh, wait, no, this was a while ago, so, okay. Alright, anyways, you got a phone number, that's it. A lot of people have it. Anyways, very efficient in everything, including screwing up using bad code. Um, a lot of emphasis on the user or on the coder setting uh, garbage collection, which is what we refer to as like memory that's used and doesn't isn't needed anymore. Um, Garbage collection. Actually, that's just a garbage collection. I mean, because with a coder setting garbage collection, um, ways to perform algorithms, and algorithms themselves are steps to get something done, but they could be algorithms. Let's see. And then in parentheses, we're going to do pointer verse variable comma, pass by reference or pass by value. But once you understand that, pass by reference versus pass by value, then it's actually pretty easy to write C++ code. I mean, it's not like, I mean, coding is hard in general. Python probably the least difficult to debug and figure out because everything it's really dumbed down, very simplified. Like you don't have to have much skill to be a Python programmer, basically. And I say that as my guide for Python programming is up at about 50,000 views, and that makes sense that the Java one's still lagging at 25 for a couple of reasons, actually. Hmm. The Python one you can actually run in the browser, and I've actually been telling people about it, whereas the Java one, haven't mentioned it to hardly anyone, doesn't run in the browser. Let's see, pass by value. And Java is easier to learn. Now C++ is even harder because you need to include, in fact, let's go ahead and do that on the next page. Coder also needs to include and then quote the include statements. Statements. Uh, or at the beginning of .cpp files. There we go. We're going to casually slide that in there. So that's a file extension of C++ files, CPP. You download CPP? No, I'm kidding. That original song was terrible. Let's see. Beginning of CPP. Unless it was ethical. Ah, there you go. Thought we were just talking about coding today, but no, this is still in the two taboos. Ethical non-monogamy. Because that song you down with OPP, it's really aggravating unless people are in on it and they're okay with it. That's the consensual and the ethical part. If all parties are consenting, let's see, and involved and included in knowing. Anyways, coder also needs to include statements at the beginning of CPP files. These tell the compiler and I guess that's another difference between Python and compiler. The Python holds your hand so much that it doesn't need a compiler. It just needs, what's the word for it? It's like not assembler even. It's like a processor, but it's a lot less heavy of a thing. It's just, interpreter, there you go. These tell the compiler, well, we'll do that in Python. What existing code libraries, because almost every program uses existing code libraries. You're not building everything from scratch. Otherwise, geez, that music's getting really loud. Let's see. These tell the compiler what existing code libraries. In fact, I think I'm going to turn that down. Jeez. Existing code libraries are needed. I guess it's not terrible. I apologize to everybody. It's bad. I guess I would need to watch the videos. Let's see. Existing code libraries are needed. Sorry, and that sounds really lazy on my part. I do usually watch my videos, and I even like them from time to time if I get a chuckle out of them or something. So, just confessing that, but I actually will be watching them. So, I mean, I'm still watching the ads, or clicking skip. Sorry, just covering my bases. All right, and then also header files are even used. Although I don't think they're required. I mean, if there's not a header file, as long as the CPP file, and I'll find out soon, because I think I'm switching gears, and instead of doing a JavaScript, because apparently JavaScript is very inefficient too. I'm about to find out. Collaborating, talking with another YouTuber that's much more famous than I, Darcy DeClue, and she puts out these really good videos about Scrum, about basically all things tech, and she's a big advocate of Java. She calls it Java, I want to say. And I think she's Canadian too. So I mean, either way, regardless, she's brilliant, and we chat or we comment on each other's stuff. Well, I comment on her stuff, but anyways, no. What was I even saying? But she just put out stuff about this new web framework that a lot of web applications are going to be built in. Since I'm trying to build that voting machine, let's finish this. Header files may even be needed. Necessary. There we go. For defining, for pre-defining, oh wait, defining functions. And functions are just like chunks of code. But anyways, she was talking about this new framework that was basically saying that JavaScript and Python are not good to use, which I've already known. Python, like if it's about efficiency, which website stuff is, especially a voter system, I'm gonna need probably the most efficient, which might be Rust or C++. So I asked her what her opinion is, and I'll look it up myself too. There's a handy chart that's pretty easy to find on the internet that talks about, and it shows that oh whoops, it shows that Python is like the worst. It comes in like dead last almost as far as efficiency with power and resources and stuff. So anyways, Python, Java, C++. C++ is probably the most valuable, but it's way up there. It's harder to reach. I'm just kidding. We'll reorganize that. But anyways, this is just amusing talking about it. I'll do more formal education videos when I'm ready for that. But, you know, and all this other stuff, I'm planning on alphabetizing it, doing all sorts of wacky stuff. We got, yeah, all the things, but focusing on what I know, and it's coding and computer science. Really, I should do one and cybersecurity. Actually, that's just coding. And this one could even be. Are we doing these? I know we ran out like around 30 minutes, but let's see. IT. I love that one, even though, and it is its own category. That's what I do now. It. All right. Well, ta-ta for now. Probably switch gears and get back into some Elden Ring because I'm still not even to the DLC, but I'm savoring it. This is my first time playing like now. All the stuff is new now, except for Godric. I killed Godric the Grafted in my first playthrough that I didn't record. So I'm recording like mostly new stuff, but I'm also skipping and collecting things offline. So I got to get back in there because I've just been wanting to play it. So also I just noticed that it looks like there's like a little gnome or even like a shell guy to the left of this map. That white face looking thing. It looks either like a pointy nosed face with a hat or like a crab. So anyways, ta-ta for now. I will see you in the next one.